This is Michael with AI Made Simple. Today we're talking about custom GPTs. As the name implies, these are customized versions of ChatGPT where you can add your own instructions, your own knowledge base documents, and even more advanced things than that. This is going to be a far simpler video than the first one. The first one is where we used code to actually build our own chatbot with API integration. That's probably about as complex as I ever want to get with these videos, so this one's going to be a lot simpler. However, I also have to say that this feature of custom GPTs is only available to subscribers of ChatGPT Plus. This feature is the only reason that I remain a subscriber. So this video will be useful if you are a subscriber, or if you're not a subscriber, maybe you'll want to subscribe after this just to try it out. I think it's extremely useful. Let me demonstrate how this works. So on the screen, I have the custom GPT I made to guide users through the first video of building the chatbot. Let me move it over. Now that GPT is on the left. On the right, we just have standard ChatGPT. Let's ask standard ChatGPT, how do I build a chatbot? Okay, follow these steps. Define the purpose, choose a platform. It's given me some very general things, very high level. It doesn't really know the specifics about what I want from it, right? And then let's ask my custom GPT how to build a chatbot. Now we're getting far more specific instructions because it's following the exact instructions from my video. It's not telling us how to build any kind of chatbot. It's specifically targeting the chatbot that we built in that first video. It's going through all the instructions. Now, even to deploying online, nice. How does it do that? Well, let's look at the inside of this custom GPT. I'm going to go to Edit. And here's what it looks like on the inside. I've given it a name, a description. Down here in the knowledge base, it has the actual code of the chatbot that we made last time, and the entire transcript of the video in I suppose a Word document, a text document. So it has these things in its knowledge base, and now it knows to, also very importantly, it has its prompt, its system instructions. And these are pretty long. You can see it's organized into a role. It has background information about the video that it's commenting on, its objective, its style of its output, and then I tell it what is in its knowledge base. This allows you to take a large language model like ChatGPT, and instead of relying on its whole general information, where it might get things wrong often, it might hallucinate often, this allows you to restrict it down to exactly your purpose, and even if you want to add knowledge-based stuff, to exactly your knowledge. It's a way to get far more accurate information, and also far more specific information, and even help with automating by having it save instructions for tasks that you do often. So, in this video, first we're going to talk about use cases. Why would you want to use this thing? I'll show you some of the custom GPTs I've made that I use often. Second, I'll walk you through how to make one. It's actually very simple. That's pretty much it. It's going to be a shorter video, I hope. And just like last time also, this video, if you check the video description, you'll see a link to a blog post where I describe the details of this video in text, and a custom GPT created just for this video that can help you with any steps you get lost on or confused about, any questions you have. Yep. And then also, I will touch a little bit on prompt engineering, but not too much in this video. Let me know if that is something that you want to learn more about in the future, because this really is my bread and butter. Okay, let's begin. First, let's look at some use cases about why you would want to use a custom GPT. I'm just going to show you a couple that I found useful for myself. This first one is called Election Companion. Oh, and by the way, we're going to look at them in this kind of edit environment, so you can see the back end of what's going on. But just be aware, normally when you use it, it would be in a format like this, Election Companion. Looks just like ChatGPT, functions a lot like ChatGPT. You're just inside the custom GPT with its custom instructions, custom knowledge, all that good stuff. So this one is an election companion. You can talk to it, and it will look into information to help you with upcoming elections in your area. So you can see it starts with a warning that I built into it. Here's the warning. And then if I give it a zip code, it'll look up when the next election is. And then you can just talk to it in a normal, natural language way to learn more about what is coming up in the next election and help you be a more informed voter. So here's that. Let's close this. Next one. So the use cases can be anywhere from serious, like the election companion, to very silly, like this one. This is one where I'm sitting there with my girlfriend. We want to watch a show. We want to rewatch some show we've already seen. We don't know what episode to watch. I always wish that Netflix had just a random button. So this is a show randomizer. I'm going to tell what episode I want, what show I want. And it's going to randomly choose an episode, but it's actually got pretty long instructions. So it's not purely random, but it's randomly choosing from the high-rated episodes. And then each time I ask it, it's going to give me a very different episode from a different season to get more variety. Oh, and also if I keep talking to it in one conversation, it's going to ask me what I thought about the episode, and it's going to remember my rating. So then in the future, it can recommend even better episodes, and it kind of like learn what I'm looking for. Right now, it's searching the web to learn about the show, learn about episodes that are highly rated, and it's just going to tell me a season and episode. Yeah, so that's a goofy one. This one is one I made very recently. It's going to effectively make like a Dungeons and Dragons type adventure for you. I'm a druid named Hugalump. I'm a human. I want to do wilderness trek. I didn't even answer all its questions, but... Oh, see, it's not going to let me go before. All right, you get the idea. This one is honestly my most used one. It's a video game information retriever. What happens is, let's see, I'm just going to tell it, ready to start. It's going to ask me what game I need help with. I need help with Warframe. It's going to look online to find one source of information that is the authoritative source on this game. And that's really important because it's narrowing its knowledge base. That's going to make it reduce hallucinations. I want to use this video game GPT again as an example about why you might want to use custom GPTs. So again, here is the custom GPT on the left and normal ChatGPT on the right. You see with normal ChatGPT, I asked it for help with a game and then how to get a character named Chroma. And it spit out this long list of instructions. This doesn't work for me, for my use case, because the way I'm using it is I have my phone next to me while I'm playing the game in voice mode. And if it spits out all these instructions, that is impossible to remember as I'm playing the game, listening to it in voice mode. Doesn't work. So instead, my custom GPT starts with I need help with the Warframe. It confirms the source, so that's going to help it reduce hallucinations because it's narrowing down on the source. I confirm the source. Then I ask, how do I get Chroma? That's the character. It gives me the first step. And then it says, let me know when you've completed that step. So now it's walking me through step by step. I'm going to pretend like I've done that step, and it's going to give me the next one. I guess give me the next two, but still, it's significantly improved over this this massive output of information that is difficult to remember in a voice environment. And this one is more finely tuned for a voice environment. This last one I want to share is possibly my favorite because it's something that can only happen with generative AI. You know all those, personality quizzes that used to be all over social media? It's a list of questions, you answer the questions, and then it tells you that, your personality is like a duck or whatever, Well, generative AI can do those a lot better because instead of having a set, like a pre-written set of questions, it can actually ask one question, get an answer, and then generatively make that next question based on the information it already has to further, more intelligently narrow down its choices. So I've called this one sorting hat for anything because it'll help you sort your different choices and figure something out. I've used this to help me buy a Chromebook, like a little laptop, uh, wireless earbuds for work, um, help me find what movies to watch, all sorts of things. This thing is extremely useful. Okay, now let's move to section 2, how to build a custom GPT. If you're a Plus subscriber, look down here for Explore GPTs. Click that. Here's a bunch of pre-built GPTs you can use if you want. Up at the top right, click Create. Now here there's two ways you can do this. There's the Create tab, the Configure tab. They both end with the same result. However, Create is more beginner friendly, but doesn't offer as much control. Configure is less beginner friendly, but still not very difficult to figure out, but also gives you a ton more control. So in Create mode, you're just going to talk to ChatGPT in a natural language way, and it's going to build the custom GPT for you. You just describe to it what you want. Maybe let's try that. What kind of GPT do I want? A GPT that will suggest videos, ideas for my YouTube channel called AI Made Simple Generative AI for Non-Techies from a non-techie. This is going to take a little while. I might edit around this, but right now it's actually building the instructions, the name. It'll do images and all that stuff for my custom GPT. So it's suggested a name now. I will say yes, good. Now it's going to work on an image. Okay, it's a very beautiful image. I like it. I approve. Okay, and actually it's already done. So let's see. Hi. So now it's you can see it's written stuff in here, right? This all used to be empty, and now it's got instructions in here, all that stuff, conversation starters. And if I want to, I can continue talking to it here, and it'll understand what I want and actually modify it in here. So I'm going to say, oh, by the way, I've already made videos for creating a Gen AI chatbot in Next.js and hosted on Versal, and one on making custom GPTs. Okay, so did it actually put that in here? Yep, look. So the creator's already done this. Cool. Now if you want to go with the more control method, the less user-friendly but more control method, click configure, and now you're in here. I'm saying it's less user-friendly or less beginner-friendly, but it's really not that difficult once you understand the different fields. So you have the name of your custom GPT. Let me actually pull up one of my custom GPTs here so I can show you what it'll look like. So the name of your custom GPT. Oh, actually, I'll open it here. The name of your custom GPT, so that's the name. Maybe I will do it here, sorry for the chaos. That's the name that appears here. The description is here. So far, this stuff does not change the behavior. This is just user-facing stuff, so people can understand what to do with it. Here is the instructions. This changes the behavior. This decides the entire behavior of the custom GPT. This is the field where you will do prompt engineering. You'll build system instructions. And I almost certainly will do a video on prompt engineering in the future. But essentially, you're telling the GPT how to act, what kind of style you want it to write in, what its role is, what its objective is, what you don't want it to do, all that good stuff. Also extremely useful, well, let me go in order. Conversation starters. These are not necessary, but they can be helpful. You can see they appear like this. It's just basically conversation starters that people can click and get going. Let me just show you. Yep, pretty good. Knowledge, this is very useful. This is where you can upload your Word document, your code, your PDF, whatever you want, so that the custom GPT, every conversation with a custom GPT has that piece of knowledge to work on. Capabilities down here. Generally, you're fine if you just select everything. There's some where I turn some off. For example, the election companion, I turn images off. I just feel like image creation and politics, I don't want that mixing together. So sometimes you might want to restrict it to change the behavior of the custom GPT. Finally, actions. This is pretty advanced stuff. For example, you can use APIs. You can have your ChatGPT connect to an outside API, an outside app. Much more advanced stuff. Not necessary at all. I don't use it too often myself. I have used it for very specific use cases, but again, it's just an advanced feature you can use if you want to. Not necessary though. Oh, and also, you can make an image. So, for example, let me just steal this. Come on. Here we go. So if I just steal this information with an image, you can either upload a photo that you have of your own, or you can use ChatGPT's own image creator, and it'll make an image based on your instructions and name and all that stuff. So I'll just click create an image. It'll take a moment. It's building, give it some time. That's adorable. That's actually way better than this one. I like that a lot. Yeah. So honestly, a lot of times I just use the DALL-E image creator to make the images for the profile picture on my custom GPTs. Because most of my custom GPTs are just for me. I'm not too concerned about the image. But again, that's an option where you can upload your photo or just create an image. Okay, and then very importantly, this is where you can test your custom GPT. Okay, so I almost certainly will do a video in the future on prompt engineering, but just be aware that the way that I make these custom GPTs usually, and I recommend you do the same, is you start with an idea and you write something. Then you test it. And you come back here and you edit and then you test it. And then you finish testing and then you use the custom GPT for a week. As you use it, you get some ideas about how to change it, how to improve it. Then you come back and you edit and test, edit and test, edit, test. Working with generative AI is not about completion and perfection. Instead, it's about iteration. You're constantly iterating, always learning, making things better, learning how to use it better, learning how to build it better. And that's really a valuable part of the process and honestly one of the most fun parts of the process. So this is how you make a custom GPT. Extremely useful feature for me personally, and hopefully you can find value in it also.